The movie starts by introducing a young guy named Chan. He sells steamed bread every day near the high school. One day, a grandma and her granddaughter, Chung Wing, buy bread from him. Chan can't help but keep staring at Wing because he's fallen in love with her at first sight. The grandma gets annoyed with Chan because he keeps looking at her granddaughter. From then on, Chan makes time to see his crush in the neighborhood where Wing goes to school. One night, Chan sees the grandma looking for Wing because she hasn't come home since noon. Chan decides to help and searches all over the village. After a while, he finally finds Wing, who was lost near a hill. Chan takes Wing back to her grandma. It turns out that Wing has a mental disability, so she sometimes forgets the way home and acts a bit strangely. But Chan doesn't mind because he really loves her. A few days later, Chan hadn't seen Wing and her grandma, so he got worried and decided to check on them. When he finished selling bread, he headed to Wing's house. To his surprise, there was a crowd outside, including the police and social services. It turned out Wing's grandma had passed away 3 days ago, and Wing was found lying next to her. People thought Wing's mental health had worsened, so they wanted to take her to a mental hospital. That night, Chan sneaked into the hospital where Wing was being treated. Fortunately, Wing was in a ward at the back, so Chan managed to help her escape. He took her to a gaming arcade to help lift her spirits because she was feeling down. It turned out that Wing also had feelings for Chan. After they both calmed down a bit, Chan took Wing to her apartment. Unfortunately, when they arrived, the police had locked the apartment. Chan was about to break the door when suddenly a woman named Lane, who lived next door to Wing, appeared. She felt sorry for Wing and invited them into her place. Inside, Ling told them she'd be gone for a few days and offered Wing and Chan to stay in her apartment. They found out that Ling was a prostitute, and she even gave Chan the freedom to do as he pleased. Once Ling left, Chan accidentally saw Wing taking a shower. However, he chose to step out to find some food around the apartment. That's when things took a terrible turn. A few minutes after Chan left, Wing had just finished showering when there was a sudden knock on the bedroom door. Wing, thinking it was Chan, opened the door, but it turned out to be an unknown man named Kwok Wah. He barged in and pulled out some money, thinking Wing was one of Ling's prostitutes. Then, heartlessly, he abused Wing, even though she looked terrified. Fortunately, Chan, who was across the street, saw Kwok Wah from a window. He rushed back and didn't hesitate to confront and beat Kwok Wah. Eventually, they both managed to escape from the apartment. After that, they both decided it was time to go to the local police and report what Kwok Wah had done. When they got there, they met the deputy police chief named Jeff. He asked Chan to step into another room while he and some of his officers spoke with Wing. One of the older policemen, Gui, realized that Wing had a mental disability and reassured them that they didn't need to worry. Then, Jeff and his team began questioning Wing about the person who had harmed her. Wing described the perpetrator as a man with a star tattoo on his right hand. However, as they delved deeper into the details, they were shocked to discover that the perpetrator was none other than Kwok Wah, their own police chief and superior. Kwok Wah had also been present at the police station and overheard what Wing was saying. After that, Kwok Wah gathered all his subordinates, including Jeff, and told them that he believed Wing was a prostitute, which led him to harass her without hesitation. But now, in an attempt to cover up what he had done, Kwok Wah instructed everyone to stay quiet and began falsely accusing Chan as if he were the culprit. About 30 minutes later, Kwok Wah's men started bombarding Chan with numerous questions, making him feel cornered. During this stressful moment, Chan accidentally noticed a photo of Kwok Wah on the table, and it dawned on him that the police were planning to frame him. In a desperate bid to escape with Wing, Chan made an attempt, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. They subjected him to torture, and to make matters worse, the police even abused Wing right in front of Chan, taking satisfaction in their cruel actions. Following that, they began fabricating a story, making it seem like Chan had forcibly taken the police gun. They planted the gun in an unconscious Chan's hand. Meanwhile, they threatened Wing, warning him not to utter a word, or they'd throw Chan behind bars. During the trial, the police stuck to their false narrative as planned. Consequently, Chan ended up serving a 6-month prison sentence, accused of assaulting law enforcement officers. While incarcerated, Chan was observed persistently attempting to remove his fingerprints, clearly plotting something for when he would be released. In short, after 6 months, Chan was released from prison. He waited for Wing, but when he saw her, he couldn't help but cry. It turned out Wing was pregnant due to what the police officers had done. Anyone would be deeply hurt in their shoes. Wing tried to put on a brave face to help Chan move on. A few days later, they'd found some happiness being together again. However, Chan's grudge against the police officers still burned within him, and he was determined to seek revenge. One day, he followed a pregnant woman who happened to be one of the police officers' wives, and after she finished shopping, he returned home. When her husband, Ting, got back, he was suddenly attacked by Chan. A few days later, the police received a report from residents about a foul-smelling plastic bag found by divers in the river. They took the bag to the police station for examination, and were horrified to discover crushed baby fetuses inside. To their shock, they also found Ting's ID card in the bag, so they rushed to Ting's house. Upon arrival, Ting was nowhere to be found. Their shock deepened when they found Ting's wife dead with her stomach split open, but there was no fetus inside. This confirmed that the bag in the river contained Ting's unborn child. At the same time, Gui, who had recently returned home with his pregnant wife, was startled when he noticed her staring at the window. About 30 minutes later, Gui attempted to reach out to one of his fellow police officers, but when his colleague answered, Gui remained silent, causing his colleague to sense that something was amiss. In no time, other police colleagues rushed to Gui's house. They were left in shock when they found Gui's wife dead with her stomach split open, mirroring the previous case. To make matters worse, they discovered Gui lifeless in a hot tub. At this point, Jeff suspected that these incidents might be the work of Chan, seeking revenge against them. News of these serial murders, with police officers as victims, spread across national TV. Authorities initiated a thorough search by inspecting all vehicles entering and leaving the city. Before long, they stopped the bus that Chan was on. Fearing Jeff's suspicion, Chan decided to slip away unnoticed. Unfortunately, Jeff caught up with him, leading to a chase, and Chan was eventually arrested and taken to an interrogation room. At this point, Chan found himself subjected to torture by Jeff and one of his accomplices. They were determined to make Chan confess to his alleged crimes in front of their colleagues. Despite the torment, Chan decided to stay silent, which only fueled their resolve to continue tormenting him. Frustrated by Chan's refusal to admit guilt, Jeff even contemplated shooting Chan in the head, but Chan remained resolute in his silence. Meanwhile, back at home, Wing watched the news on TV, reporting Chan's arrest on charges of killing a police officer and his family. This news deeply disappointed Wing because it meant they would be separated from their loved one. Wing attempted to contact the police, but for some reason, dropped the phone. Subsequently, Wing entered the bathroom with the intention of ending the pregnancy using a knife. Afterward, Wing was seen disposing of the knife in a water channel. Back at the police station, Jeff was on the verge of taking drastic action against Chan. But suddenly, a police captain arrived from the headquarters and was furious with Jeff. The captain informed Jeff that they had apprehended the wrong person because the actual serial killer had recently targeted a pregnant woman, namely Wing. This indicated that Wing had deliberately staged the situation to clear Chan of any wrongdoing. Recognizing that Jeff and his team had flouted protocol, the captain promptly reprimanded them. The captain then questioned Chan about why he had fled during the police raid. Chan explained that he had been falsely trapped by police officers before. Given this information and the lack of evidence, Chan was eventually cleared of all charges. Meanwhile, Jeff's subordinates suggested confessing the truth to the police captain, revealing Chan's true motive for seeking revenge against them. However, Jeff vehemently refused, as it would mean damaging their own pride. In the meantime, Jeff and his colleagues attempted to contact Kwok Wah, the retired police chief. Jeff informed Kwok Wah about their plan to eliminate Chan and Wing as quickly as possible. Chan had devised a plan to rescue Wing from the hospital before the police could harm them. However, just as Chan and Wing were about to make their escape, Jeff caught up to them, sparking a frantic chase. Behind them, Jeff's men were instructed to intercept the ambulance that Chan was using. During one encounter, Jeff's men located Chan's vehicle and opened fire, causing it to crash into a gas station. This led to a heated brawl between the two sides. Shortly after, Jeff arrived and attempted to ram his car into Chan's. Fortunately, Chan managed to evade the collision and the chase continued. Ultimately, Jeff caught up to Chan and began beating him. In a desperate moment, Chan stumbled upon an iron plate and, without hesitation, used it to strike back, fatally injuring Jeff. The following day, Kwok Wa located Wayne in an ambulance. Without hesitation, he shot Wayne, who was still unconscious at that time. Afterward, Kwok Wa fired his gun in the air to lure Chan, who had been unconscious the previous night. Hearing the gunshots, Chan, who had just regained consciousness, stirred. He attempted to approach Kwok Wa, who, eager to conclude matters swiftly, shot Chan with his gun until it ran out of bullets. Kwok Wa then told Chan that if he managed to survive, they should meet again. 5 years later, Kwok Wa, who is still haunted by guilt for what he did to Wing and Chan. He now lives in a different city and works as a teacher. Additionally, Kwok Wa frequently appears on national TV, volunteering for religious and charity causes. On the flip side, Chan is still alive and comes across a TV broadcast featuring Kwok Wa. Now he knows where Kwok Wa is and plans to exact his revenge. Before heading to confront Kwok Wa, Chan shaves his head, just like before. In short, Chan went to see Kwok Wa, who was teaching kids to play the piano. When Kwok Wa saw Chan, he invited him for coffee and tried to make amends, asking for forgiveness for his mistakes. However, Chan, consumed by revenge, didn't hesitate to end Kwok Wa's life right then and there. At the end of the story, Chan and Wing continue their life together. Wing survived, but she now uses a wheelchair due to being shot in the leg by Kwok Wa. The moral lesson from the story is to never underestimate the power of an unexpected romance, even one that begins with selling steamed bread. It can lead to a series of unfortunate events and a lesson in forgiveness, but it's always better to prioritize love over revenge.